Hey there, Saints. Pastor Dave here with another weekly devotion this Wednesday. Hope you're doing well today. We've heard for the past couple of weeks from Francis de Sales on the topic of devotion. And what he means by that word, just as a reminder, is it's not what we might think of as a set of obligations or religious practices that we have to find some way to add into our already busy schedules. Devotion for him is something that happens in the heart. It's the characteristic, the quality, the attitude of desiring to follow God's will, desiring to do good to others. And so one more reading I want to share today on the subject of how we grow in devotion. When commanded to go to Rages, young Tobias answered, "I do not know the way." And his father replied, "Go then and find someone to guide and lead you." I say the same thing to you. Do you seriously wish to travel the road to devotion? If so, look for a good person to guide you. This is the most important of all my words of advice. As the devout Avila says, although you seek God's will, you will never find it with such certainty as on the path of that humble obedience so highly praised and practiced by all devout writers. Who shall find such a friend? The wise man answers, those who fear the Lord, that is, humble souls who sincerely desire to make spiritual progress. Since it is important for you to have a guide as you travel on this holy road to devotion, you must most insistently beseech God to provide you with one after his own heart. Have no misgivings in this regard, for he who sent down an angel from heaven, as he did to young Tobias, will give you a good and faithful guide. Saints, you may not be familiar with Tobias. I wasn't actually myself. I had to look up this reference, but this comes from the book of Tobit, which is an apocryphal book of scripture. It's found in the Catholic canon, but not in the Protestant Bible. So you may never have read it before, and I hadn't. So when I looked at this story, what I learned was Tobit was this family patriarch who was blind, and the family was in trouble. And so he sent his son Tobias to Rages to go find a relative who owed them money. And Tobias didn't know how to get there. Tobias just didn't know, the path, didn't know where he was going. God sends the angel Raphael in the guise of a human being to Tobias to serve as his guide. And so Tobias finds this person who is able to bring him where he wants to go. I thought this is a great image that de Sales uses, talking about the spiritual journey, the spiritual growth that we might experience when we have a proper guide. When we're younger, we all kind of understand that we need someone to teach us about this faith. We don't know everything, and our parents or our grandparents or our pastors or maybe our older siblings have more knowledge than we do, and they can share with us, they can help us learn and grow. But as we become adults, sometimes we forget about that. We lose sight of the fact that we don't have all the answers. We don't know all that we need to know, and we don't have everything figured out. It's important for us to have the humility to say, I've got room to grow, and there are people out there who can help me do that. If we look around and if we really give it some thought, I'm sure we could always find someone who is further along in the spiritual journey than we are. Even as a pastor, I have sought out at different times in my ministry, I've sought out a spiritual director. And that is an intentional professional relationship, somebody who I meet with on a scheduled basis to help me continue to grow in faith. But it doesn't have to look like that for all of us. It just has to be someone that we have a relationship with, that we know that we can trust to guide us and get us closer to God. Who could that be for you? When you look around your life, who are the people who seem to have things figured out that you want to figure out for yourself? Because just as we would seek out a piano tutor if we wanted to get better at playing piano, or we would seek out a fishing instructor if we wanted to get better at fishing. We can seek out spiritual guides if we want to get closer to God, and want to grow in our capacity for devotion. That is your devotion this week, saints. I hope that it's helpful and hope you are doing well. Hope that things are going well for you. I'll be praying for you. Please keep praying for me. And I'll see you all again soon. Take care, saints.